probably wondering why I'm filming the intro of this video scrunched under a light post right here. Now that is because if we walk in here, you'll see and you'll hear from the hammering, there is a new car that is on the channel. And that is this right here, Saab 9000 Aero. We have two videos coming on this car, one of them being a rebuild and replacement of a CV axle. And today we're going to be doing some front brakes. We're going to be doing some front brakes on it. Okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself and the car so people know what's going on here.
Hi, I'm Boomer. This is my biscuit. His name is Larry.
This is your 1995 9000 Aero. It's taking the caliper bolts out right now. And then we'll got some new pads and rotors. Look at that. Look at how quick that was. Our Rock Auto brakes in here.
Skeetle, skeetle, buddy.
Got our, what does that say? Asbestos?
Yes,
I don't think that's a good thing. Asbestos is not good.
Oh, that's how you know it's good. It's the best. It's got it right in the name.
There's our new front pads. Got our rotors in here too. And his set screw came right off. His rotor came right off of the hub. Wow, must be nice.
Oh,
I've never
I
dealt with
kiss
that before.
somebody right now. Whatever poor sap had this car before me decided that they were going to be a nice guy and they were going to clean this flange up.
Got our new rotor right there. Go ahead, throw her on.
Well, I mean, you want to show the nice folks as to why we're replacing these way pairs?
Yeah, go ahead. Show us what's wrong with the old ones.
If you look at these two rotors right here, this one's brand new out the box, and this one's been on here for God knows how many years. You can see here, there's a very large lip on this rotor, meaning that that pad is cut into it that far, and these rotors are probably, if I had to guess, somewhere in 20 years old, I'm sure. They were probably replaced when the car was somewhat new and worth the money. These are some fantastic new rotors. You can still see the crosshatch marks on it because they're new. I wouldn't have paid for them otherwise.
Beautiful.
Chinese quality, baby.
Throw them on.
Going right on there. I didn't even have to clean the hub up. I don't even feel bad about slapping it just right back on. It's a good day.
So you want to tell the fine folks how you found this 9000?
I moved out here, and out here as far as Phoenix, Arizona. So I moved out to Phoenix June of 2020, and I started working, got bored. I got the itch to start buying cars again, which I've done for all through college and kind of did that. And that's how I made like little side money through college. I started hanging out with this guy who you'll probably see. You've seen on you see his car on another video about putting an intercooler in. Is 9993 hatchback, but he's got this thing that he does called saving Saabs. He found the sale out in Colorado with like 29,000s and a bunch of other Saabs. I've known this guy for, at this point, like maybe a month. I saw this car. I had a 95 9000 in high school. I regretted selling. I think that weekend I took that Friday off, and then we went and drove 680 miles in a day and a half. And then when we got up there, I loved the car, obviously. You know, I'd already committed to it, so even if I hated it, you know, whatever.
Yeah, you don't drive 700 miles not to buy a cheap car.
You're very right about that. Anyways, so we got up there, and it was probably one of the cooler experiences I've ever had. I've been around Saabs, been around them a lot. I've owned you know, my 9000 and then my 93. I learned how to drive in a 95. But I was like, this is awesome. I can't believe I'm actually buying one of these again. I went back and handed the guy the money, and that was the beginning of that saga back home. So that evening, I had to go buy a battery for it because the battery that was in it was just some battery that had been laying around their shop for a while, and it didn't have much life left in it. So I had to go get a Walmart battery. Turns out the Walmart battery didn't work. probably would have worked. Thinking back, this was kind of just a whirlwind thing, so I was just real excited just to have the car. Went to AutoZone, so we made it to the AutoZone, and I thought it smelled like gas the whole time I was driving it. So I was like, well, that's kind of weird. I wonder if it's just from when they were filling it up, because they had a jerry can they were filling these cars up with, because there was a bunch of them just sitting around and they were just putting fresh fuel in them and popping them off. Actually, what had happened is there's a pressure and return line coming from the fuel tank, and both of them are plastic. Well, the pressure line comes off of the tank, comes down underneath the passenger rear wheel, and there's a fuel filter there, and 2 banjo bolts, one for in, one for out. And what had happened was that at some point they had replaced the fuel filter because it was brand new. And there's a little clamp, a little band clamp that goes on there that holds it up. And they hadn't put the band clamp back on. So it was just hanging there from that plastic line. And enough time just hanging there and bouncing around and vibrating, and it cracked the line right at the tank. So we found that out, I want to say 10 o'clock, 9 or 10 o'clock. Sitting in the parking lot of the AutoZone. So we called the guy up we got it from, and we're like, hey, since you have so many other 9000s out there, can you come pull this line up of the car and stick it on this one so I can get home? And he said, yeah, no problem, go ahead. Dropping the gas tank off of some random CSC 9000 for 2 hours, I lost my 13mm socket, which I'm slightly butthurt about, but you know,
it happens.
Bigger picture, right? So we got the line off of the other car, and we got back to the AutoZone parking lot, I want to say at about 1 in the morning. And then at that point I proceeded to drop the tank on this car, which it really isn't that bad, but when it's 1 o'clock in the morning and it's 50 something degrees in Colorado, it's like, God, kill me now. Anyways, we get that, we fix that. I had to get a couple of washers to keep it from leaking, but the next morning, after we did that, I literally got in the car and I drove all 680 miles back to Phoenix with 0 issues. I had cruise control, AC, everything in the car worked.
I would move and show the car, but there's not much space in here right now, so I'm kind of secluded to this corner. Got the caliper compressed enough. Got her back on with both the pads. Well, he's gonna reattach the caliper to the hub. 2 bolts, 2 19mm bolts. Clip on the caliper.
I'm telling you, these pliers are that's the best use of $11 I have ever had.
He's been using these pliers for everything tonight. The CV axle stuff, which you'll see in a future video.
You know why I bought these?
Using it for this now.
I bought these because I had to do heater hoses in my 9.3 when I had that. My OG 9.3.
Spray down the new rotor, everything's back together. We're gonna do the other side now. So I'm pretty certain these are called the Super Aero wheels, but he has a spare set of the gray ones laying around. So you can see the silver ones back there. I personally think that these... So the ones that are on the car right now, those are called Super Aeros. Okay. These are the SPG early Aero wheels. Anyways, point being, I think that these look better than the all silver ones. He's getting new tires soon, so if you guys want to go harass him on Instagram, tell him to put the... Don't harass me, I'm old. I am old. Unfortunately, this guy got rid of all of his Saabs, so this was like over the summer like we'd mentioned. Well, actually, the guy that we got this car from and the sale was going on, it was actually a guy who runs a shop, or who ran a shop up in Colorado. I think his name was, they called him Huba. I don't know what his actual name was, but I think he ran a shop called East of Sweden or something of that nature. But he passed away. I guess he got in a wreck in his 900 and perished as a result of that. But his kid's super nice kid. They had to sell off all of his collection, and he had a bunch of awesome stuff there. That was the sad part of it, but yeah. I think a lot of people that came by and a lot of people that ended up buying stuff from him were pretty good Saab fans. All that stuff is gone now, so you probably won't be able to find stuff like this for that kind of price, at least not at this specific location anymore. I don't like it. It just looks too small. Is it
I know
not
it's the same size. It's the same size, but it just looks too small.
Well, that's what happens when you don't have tires on it there,
Oh,
fella.
I know, but it's just...
I don't know. We got the gray ones right there. Silver ones. See, I like the gray ones because they're kind of like a two-tone. They almost remind me of the Turbo X wheels. But we're gonna throw the actual wheel back on now. Hit up the other side. So his aero badge was never on here. So because they were out of aero badges on Saab parts and just about everywhere, we're gonna put a Griffin badge on it.
Griffin.
So don't get triggered.
Oh, guy. Come on now. Tell me that don't look good. I'll be dipped.
There's an introduction to the new car on the channel. I'm sure we'll be doing a series of videos on this car. The next one you'll be seeing probably in a week or so is on a CV axle replacement, which he had to do on the car. You might have noticed in that last clip that the Griffin badge was much, much shinier than the 25-year-old 9000 badge and the Saab badge that was on the other side of the trunk that you couldn't see. So what we did, we used the old silver Sharpie trick and he kind of colored over it and it looks literally 100% perfect. As you guys are watching this video, I am currently at the Saab Club of Arizona and Volvo meet. This is our first attempt at a joint meet with the Volvo Club here in Arizona. Should be a lot of fun, so there will be a video on that probably right after you're seeing this one next Wednesday. Because of COVID, it's probably not going to be a huge turnout, but it'll be fun nonetheless. So if you guys enjoy the new car on the channel, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see y'all next time.